you're new to my channel, become part of the hashtag Shawnee fam. I upload videos on Mondays and on Fridays. Reaction videos on Mondays. On Fridays I do DIYs. Videos like this I do on Fridays. Then you have your 5.7-inch 720p display, and then you have LG branding across the bottom. Alright, so that pretty much does it for the walk around. Now, getting into my first impressions. Out of the box, when you set this guy up for your first time and you activate it, it comes with pretty much LG's stock launcher. Now, I didn't change it, but pretty much what it is similar to an iPhone experience. You don't have any app drawer, and you got to folder up all of your apps. But what you can do is you can go ahead and jump into your settings here, and you can go to your home screen, and you can change it to where you have a app drawer, okay? But that's not available out of the box. Out of the box, it says you can download it, and there's a download icon. So, gotta be mindful of that. If you do want the app drawer back, you're gonna have to download it. It's gonna take up a little bit of space. Also, out of the box now, this device has 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage with micro SD card expansion. But out of the box, available, you get about 9 gigs. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, why is that? Well, Android has to take some gigage for the system, and then you have the manufacturer's overlay, and then you have the service provider's overlay on top of that. So, Android takes about 4 or 5 gigs, then LG takes a little bit of gigage to set up the UI, and then the service provider is going to load on their apps and what have you, and then the users are left with what's ever left. So out of the box, I think you had 9 gigs available, and after that, I loaded up my apps here so you can see my social media, all my shopping stuff, my movies and TV, Netflix, all that good stuff is here. My games for testing purposes. And yeah. And then you can see some folders that come out of the box that I kind of rearranged. So I put all of the Straight Talk stuff into one folder, and I just kept the app that lets me access my Straight Talk account, similar to what happens with T-Mobile or pretty much any service provider. We all have a service provider app now. So I just left out the one that's going to directly let me interact with the service and change things in my data plan when I need to. Okay, so that pretty much does it for how it came out of the box. And you can pretty...
This is like part 2 of the actual slash. Please consider it as it's away 5-22-18, and I'm not doing any YouTube on it.
Hey guys, Tina here, Critical Virgo. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know if you found me through my website, but if you haven't, please check that out. I post short reviews. This channel has the full review with a demo if applicable. My website address is www.thecriticalvirgo.com. So again, please do check that out and make it a favorite and stop by frequently. I know some people don't like reading, and that's fine. You can stop by here, but if you're on the go and you just want to check something out, maybe I reviewed something and you need to reference it, definitely stop by there. There'll be some short, quick reviews, the cliff notes of these actually. So today, for my first review, you guys, so be easy. I'm going to be talking about Cricket Wireless and my experience with them. I switched over from T-Mobile about 3 or 4 months ago, and I got to tell you, The service has been excellent. The reason why I switched was with T-Mobile, and just I have to say this in the beginning. I did not own my phone outright, so I was leasing it. So when I talk about the pricing for T-Mobile, it includes like $31 from my cell phone lease. But I was paying like $128 or $29 every single month for an unlimited plan and payments on my iPhone 6. And to be honest, when I lived in Florida, my service was pretty good. I was close to a major metropolitan area, and I moved out to Ohio, and I'm not too far away from a major area, but I do have to drive through some areas that are not close to the major city, and in those areas I had like little or no service. And for the most part, I was content, and the only thing that really highlighted the issue and made me want to change was I started a job here, I'm not going to say where, but they issued me a company phone which has coverage with AT&T. So I would carry around my work phone and my personal phone, and I have them side by side, and I say, oh my gosh, you know, everywhere I am, AT&T has coverage. And just as side note, I am not a huge AT&T fan. I've had issues with them in the past, even way back when they were Singular. I've signed up with them and canceled with them so many times, and that'll be a totally separate blog post. If you guys want it, I'll be glad to talk about it, but that's not what this is about. It kind of is, though, actually, now that I think about it, because Cricket runs on AT&T's network. So I saw a kiosk in the mall when I moved here. I was like walking by, and this little guy stopped me. He's like, hey, have you checked out Cricket? And I was like, no. And over here, they like advertise it like crazy on TV. So I was like, what's the deal with this? I'm in Columbus, Ohio right now, and let me tell you, the service is absolutely amazing. I have not had a dropped call. When I was on T-Mobile, sometimes my calls would go in and out. Like, people would say they couldn't hear me, or I'd drop it, and like text messages weren't always coming in. It was very weird. Sometimes I had to send them multiple times, but when I switched to Cricket, I haven't had no issues with it. I know you guys are curious as to what the service looks like. Let me get to a page so that you can see without me showing you guys where I work. So, and this is the funny thing. Okay, so they're on the same network. Well, Cricket, hopefully you guys can see that. This is my personal cell phone, Cricket. And let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, you guys don't know where I work. This is my work cell phone with AT&T.
Look at my new shirt.
So, side by side.
My new
just so
t-shirt.
you can see what the service is like. Very equal.
Yeah,
I
with
will say
catch
this.
it the first time.
You do get super high speeds on Cricket. It's slower than AT&T over in the bigger picture of things. But if you're an average user, you will not notice a difference. Let me tell you, I can still watch YouTube, stream music, browse the internet, download my apps, do whatever I gotta do, and I have not noticed a difference. But I can see that if you were like a heavy power user and maybe you were using it as like hotspot, then and you had multiple devices connected to it, then I can see where you might have an issue. But again, for the average user, you're not going to see a difference. Now for pricing, I went with the 2.5 gig plan. When I was with T-Mobile, I had an unlimited, and I did utilize it. I mean, I was streaming music, video, all that stuff. And the only reason why I really signed up with the unlimited, to be honest with you, was because at one point before they started this unlimited streaming thing, I was actually going up to about 20 gigs a month. I know it's disgusting. Like, what are you watching, Tina? But when I made the switch, I had to buy my phone outright, so I had to pay like $500. But in the long run, I'm saving money. Let me tell you why. Paying $35 a month. The plan is $40 a month for 2.5 gigs. But because I'm enrolled in auto pay, they deduct $5 a month. I get a $100 credit for switching from T-Mobile to Cricket, so I don't have a phone bill for 3 months. How like awesome is that? Come on now. Now, I really had to sit down and think about how I was using my data. I could have went with an unlimited plan. They do have one. It's like $70 a month, and I thought about it, but I was like, you're switching, for the service for one, but also to save money. So I had to say to myself, what am I using my data for? And I came to the realization that I can really just download podcasts, because I have an iPhone, onto my phone and just play those when I'm at the gym or whenever. And when I was watching YouTube, it was really just a distraction in my day that I didn't need. And I made a commitment to myself to just watch YouTube at home, like on my computer, or even when I'm on Wi-Fi. I have used up all my data once, and that was because I was not conscious of how I was using my internet at home. One day I was sitting there and watching YouTube on my phone, like I normally do, and I didn't realize that I had the Wi-Fi off. So I totally ate up through all my data. Thankfully, I didn't have a lot of days left. After, I know you guys are probably curious about this, and it's a good thing I experienced it because I can talk about it now. Your data does slow down when you use up your allotted amount of gigs that you paid for. It's not like you can't function on it. It reminds me of back in the day when we had like Edge, like 2G. You can still pull up web pages. It's just a lot slower. So you're not going to be like totally left stranded. If you absolutely needed your internet, you could still look things up, but it is significantly slower, especially since by now you're probably used to 4G LTE speed. So I will say that. But overall, I like the fact that you don't get charged overages and it's still usable. So you're not left high and dry. When I was looking at these plans, I also did look at AT&T's Go Phone plan, and I just want to touch on that for a quick second too, because I feel like it's kind of relevant. They have a 3 gig plan on their Go Phone where it's a prepaid service, and again you're using the same network because it's AT&T, so AT&T, Cricket, Go Phone, all the same. The one thing I liked about that is if you don't use up your data, you could roll it over. There's one caveat though. You can only roll it over for 1 month, so it's kind of like a tease. Just a baby rollover plan, you could say, because if you roll it over and you don't use take that for what it's worth. It's something to look into, though. One last bit I want to put out there just before I go is my experience with this may be different than yours. Again, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I can tell you for a fact that in my area, the service is great. No complaints. They had like one minor outage, which was kind of like a bummer, but since then, there's been no issues. And to be honest with you, I totally was able to overlook that one outage because, dude, I'm paying $35 a month. Like, if I was paying $120 a month and they had some crazy outage, I'd be pretty upset. If I'm paying $30 a month, I'll deal with it. It's okay. And also, if the service was not as good as it is, even though it's absolutely stellar, let me just say, I probably wouldn't be so upset because I'm paying $35 a month. And that was what rubbed me wrong about T-Mobile when I was here, because I was paying like $129 a month, and I barely had service. So I had all this data, but I couldn't use it. So it's one of those things. Now, again, you should check with your neighbors and coworkers wherever you live. This is especially true if you live in a rural area, because there's fewer towers out by you. So just talk to your friends, your neighbors, your family, coworkers, whatever, and ask them what kind of service they're using and get what kind of feedback they got, and just find the best network for you. There's plenty of prepaid options out there. You don't have to go with Cricket. There's Virgin, there's TracFone, there's just so many. There's Metro PCS. And if you're anything like me, I really just kind of have like a commitment issue with cell phone carriers, just because I don't like being tied down to that contract. If you're not serving me a good service or product, I'm gonna go. I think I have the right to choose and move whenever I want without having to pay ETFs and all this crazy stuff. And I'm glad that we have so many options available to us now. So again, talk to your friends, your neighbors, do your research, and if you can, some companies have a trial thing where you can try it out for like 14 days if you do decide to go with a contract. And just one last quick note. When I was with T-Mobile, because I had my phone on a lease, I had to pay the full price in order to unlock it. Now, I'm just putting this out there because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake I did. I'm a very impatient person, and when I get something in my head, I want it now, like right now. And I decided that I wanted to go with Cricket so badly and just cancel my T-Mobile plan. And I wanted to put that plan in action yesterday. And what ended up happening was I made my payment, and I didn't realize that it would take so long to unlock. I had to wait like 24 or 48 hours for them to send me an email. They sent me an email in 24 hours, and I thought I was good to go. So I went back to this kiosk, the Cricket kiosk at the mall. and I told the guy, hey, I got this email. I brought my laptop with me so that I could do the whole unlocking process that they outlined in this email. And it did not work. I had some issues, but there was also a little note in that email that said, if you just switch out your SIM, you should be fine. So we called T-Mobile and told them that I was canceling that service, and then we put the new SIM in, and it just wouldn't recognize it. So we had to call T-Mobile back, and there was a little snafu on their end where they started processing and confirm everything, didn't do her job. So I had no cell phone service for a whole day. So moral of the story is, pay your phone, get it unlocked, or just buy a fully unlocked iPhone or a different phone, whatever you choose, and make sure it's unlocked before we start switching services, because I don't want to see you guys without a phone. It totally sucked, but thankfully I didn't have a whole lot going on that night, and I was able to live. If you have any questions or comments regarding this review, please post them below. If you liked what I said, please like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, please go check out my website. It's my blog. Again, that's www.thecriticalvirgo.com. Thanks, guys.
American Ninja Warrior is fighting, overcoming.
It's being a role model, showing that anything is possible.
It's not a TV show for me anymore. It's a part of my life.
Alright guys, it's my unbiased review of Cricket Wireless for 2018. Yeah, let's talk about it. Alright, for those of you who might not know who I am your host, Eddie Blotnicki III, and on this channel, we are typically talking tech. So, at the end of this video, I encourage you to check out the rest of my channel, and if you like what you see, I'd appreciate your support. If you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel to be notified and show your support for future videos such as this one here. And I do talk quite a bit about Cricket Wireless on the channel. So if you like Cricket Wireless and this video, I'm pretty sure you'll like what this channel has to offer. So guys, let's get into the review. And here's the thing. On my other two unbiased reviews of Cricket Wireless, for those of you who have seen those, this is my third one. So, but on the 2016 and on the 2017, some of the haters in the comments, and unfortunately you can't avoid those, were basically calling me a hypocrite for saying that I'm wearing a Cricket Wireless shirt and there's no possible way that I can give you an unbiased review. Here's my response to that. We're all biased, whether we want to admit it or not, in one particular way or another. We are all biased, okay? But I can give you my perspective in an unbiased way, okay? So with that in mind, guys, let's get into the video right here. So, first off, with Cricket Wireless, one important question. Cricket Wireless is a wholly owned subsidiary of AT&T. So, the first question I have to ask you is, are you satisfied with the service that AT&T provides in your area? If so, definitely check out the rest of this video. If AT&T does not offer service in your area, or you are not satisfied with it, I can't recommend Cricket Wireless to you. Can't recommend something to you that's just not going to work. So, keep that in mind. So, alright guys, let's dive on in here. So, Cricket Wireless. Friendly, affordable wireless. Plans start at just $30 a month with no annual contracts. Let's go ahead and just scroll down on this page here
And they always have, if you go to the Cricket Wireless website, there's always promotions going around. So at the time you might be watching this later on down the road, since it's been filmed, the offers will change. So if you're considering Cricket, I recommend you go to cricketwireless.com and then just check out the current offers that are currently going on. So let's check the coverage. I have to emphasize, guys, greatly on the coverage. 2 reasons you want to go with Cricket Wireless: the coverage and the price. So Cricket has a great big network that covers over 99% of Americans. Let's just see the coverage map here. And the coverage map has definitely improved throughout the years. So let me just show you guys here. I want to be very careful so I don't zoom in and zoom out, because this coverage map is kind of sensitive here. But we have, let me scroll up here so you guys aren't missing this information. Okay, LTE coverage in dark green, and then 4G coverage green with white, and then 3G coverage, which is going to be going away eventually, is yellow, and then third-party coverage. This is very, very interesting. So basically, it's kind of like roaming, and Cricket never used to offer this. So let me go ahead and show you here. So in these areas here, these pattern kind of like bluish, grayish, whitish, those are roaming, and those are not on the AT&T network. So basically, it's roaming coverage, and Cricket cannot guarantee how good the service is, but you will get reception in those areas.
So bye-bye.
Kind of nice.